Okay, so there are some fairly common complaints about MJ the Experience, and I just thought I'd try and explain some of them to you guys. Okay, I talked about this before when I first bought the game, and my sort of review was very bland because I only played the game for like an hour before I actually recorded that video. But I even stand by what I said there. See, people don't understand that it's controller. It's the Wii senses only the controller, okay? That's all it can sense. Now, so of course they had to create a lot of hand movements that Michael's never done, and even leg movements and just overall dance moves that Michael's never ever done. Now, people complain about the Wii and say that the Wii version is worse than the PS3, even the Kinect version, but you know what? I think that the PS3 version is superior to the Wii version only because they worked with hand movements like they had to, because even the PS3 can only sense the controller. But so they had to work with hand movements too, but they did a better job than they did on the Wii, which is weird because they're all made by the same company, Ubisoft, and yet they only had hand movements to work with, but yet they still made the PS3 version better. I don't know if it's because Nintendo has something to do with it and how the Wii is known for being animated and all that, but there were hand movements that are in the PS3 version that aren't in the Wii, and I do have some complaints about the Wii version, that even though they had less to work with because of, only having the controller, they left out hand movements that they really could have done, that they could have put in. For example, the two traditional moves that are usually done in Jam. This, and those are Jam moves. Those two moves are traditionally done in Jam. But in the PS3 version, there's a clip of Stranger in Moscow on YouTube right now. As of right now, there's only Stranger in Moscow and Blood on the Dance Floor. But in Stranger in Moscow specifically, there's a part where he does that punch, the Jam type of punch. And it's like, okay, that's a Michael Jackson. That's a real Michael Jackson move. Usually done in Jam, but still, why isn't it in the Wii version? And the other move as well. That's a very, very common Michael Jackson move, usually done in Jam, but also done in other songs too, and again, left out of the Wii version. And, there's other songs they could have kept in the Wii version. For example, Shake Your Body. Is this not a hand move? Okay, there, Shake Your Body. Is that not a hand move? I mean, yeah, that song isn't in the game, but it should be in the game. And even if it's not in the game, they could still incorporate that move somewhere in the game. And other songs he did on the Bad Tour have a lot of hand moves. I mean, what about the hand move he does in Heartbreak Hotel or Lovely One live? Those are all hand moves that they could have added into the game, and there's no reason for them not to have, especially if they thought of it after in the PS3 version, for the Jam moves, for example. But a lot of people have common complaints about the Wii version, and I'm going to tear some of those down. People will complain that there's too many slow songs on the Wii version. Well, I'm pretty sure those will be on the Kinect and as well as the PS3 version as well. But slow or not, that's not really a valid point because people can still like those songs. I mean, for example, Melanie's favorite song of all time is Earth Song, and that's not, it gets loud near the end, but it's still more or less a slower song. And I know the game has Will You Be There and The Girl Is Mine and things like that, but you know what? Again, it's not a matter of slow or not, it's a matter of if people like those songs, they'll play them. Some people will complain about the backgrounds in the Wii. Okay, this is not a valid point at all, because the backgrounds do replicate what they're supposed to be in the music video. But if they really were animated like they are on the fucking Kinect, then A, that would be taking up way too much space, and B, it's extremely distracting. Okay? Now, also, some people will complain about the fact that the Michael in the game looks very ghostish. You can't make out his facial features in that. Well, this is also not a valid point because, well, maybe in a way it's a valid point, but it's an excusable point because everyone knows the Wii is very known for being cartoony and animated, and that was just what they had to work with the Wii, really. And as I commonly complained about, again, it only senses the controller. Now this has a number of complaints. The first complaint is that people say, oh, what's the point of playing if all you're going to do is wave your hand around? Well, look, if you bought the game, you obviously bought it to dance like Michael Jackson. Although you only have to move the controller, aka your right hand, does not mean that you can't move the rest of your body. Okay? If you bought the game, you're going to buy it to play. It doesn't matter what you have to do. I mean, when you play another video game, on even a PS3 with an actual controller, you only have to move your thumbs. Does that mean you can't stand up and do whatnot? I mean, it's about choice, really. So it's about having fun and learning how to dance. You can easily copy them and do it as as you're playing. But anyone who says, oh, it's boring because all you have to do is move your hand, well, fuck you then, because you play it to dance like Michael Jackson, so do the whole damn thing. It's not a matter of, this is what I have to do, this is what I'm going to do. Another common complaint is that people say the controller is not responsive, and you'll get like an X or just an OK on doing a certain move. This is true, because actually, the controller can be very strict at points, and I mean, this can be a valid complaint, but I guess. And yes, the controller is extremely strict sometimes and does not register things, but I guess that can also be on the kind of TV you have or something, I don't know, but all I know is that yes, they did kind of screw up on the actual controller itself, but they made it really strict, I guess to make it harder because it only is your hand after all. Some people also say, oh, well, why does the picture on the side stop scrolling up sometimes? Oh god, this is because it only stops scrolling up if the move is done repeatedly. I mean, how would you like if the picture kept scrolling up constantly and you couldn't even see it anymore? It's because if the move is being done repeatedly, it's not going to keep showing the same thing, right? That's why it stops scrolling up the screen. Some people have a pretty ignorant complaint saying that in the lessons where they teach you how to dance, where Travis Payne teaches you, you have to actually beat that specific song to watch the actual dance video. That's not true. Most of the unlockables for the dancing where Travis Payne teaches you are based on the amount of stars you have, not on beating Smooth Criminal to watch Smooth Criminal, or beating Beat It to watch Beat It. I do have a complaint about them though. They do not teach all the moves that Michael does in that specific song. They only teach a select few, and the lessons are not very good, Travis. So I think it needs to be slower, way more in detail, and also you gotta show all of Michael's moves from that song. I mean, in the Billie Jean lesson that he gives, he only shows like the moonwalk, and that's more or less it. The rest of them are just moves that Michael sort of improvised on me. I mean, Travis Payne shows the moonwalk, that's fine, but he also shows where he holds his crotch and puts his arm to the side. That's not really a dance move, it's just something he does in the end dance for fun, and it's not hard to do either. And he also showed Michael's walk. Come on, his walk. I mean, show more in detail moves, like show the popping move in Billie Jean or something, you know. But anyway, now back to my complaints. So those are the complaints about the Wii. The Wii does need some improvement, and the PS3, I can already tell just by watching the Blood and Dance Floor gameplay and the Stranger in Moscow gameplay, I can tell that the PS3 version is going to be fucking awesome. And people will say, oh, but the Kinect version senses your whole body, so, why not get the Kinect version and fuck the PS3 and the Wii? No, because actually the Kinect version is the worst one. Why? Oh my god, how could I have said this? Well, I'll tell you why. Because A, Michael's not even in the fucking game, and second of all, it senses your whole body, right? Well, you know what? Then it's not excusable, because they still, even though it senses your whole body, Michael's moves are still not in the game. I'll put a link to a clip of the Xbox version of Billie Jean, and you watch the dancing that goes on. It just repeats the same dance moves on side to side over and over again. The moonwalk that they show at the end of this clip is ridiculous, and the move where Michael swings his feet from side to side, this move, yeah, in the video they do it like this. And that's how it's going to be for, I'm pretty sure, every single song in that game. So, you know what? The Kinect version fucked it up. I mean, if you have a thing that senses your whole body and you still fuck it up that bad, no, it sucks. I will not buy an Xbox, nor will I buy that game. So, fuck the Xbox version. I say buy the PS3 version if you really want to have a good time. And there's my review of MJ The Experience.